Hello and welcome to SaltWire today for Tuesday, November 1st. I'm your host, Kate Walker. The HRM is taking steps to make the community safer for cyclists and pedestrians. Scott Campbell lives near Victoria Road in Dartmouth and takes his bike across the bridge often. He also commutes to work in Woodside, which doesn't have a dedicated bike path.
If you want to get over there to Burnside or up into the lakes, you got to just find your own way. There's lots of different back roads and things, but there's really no direct way, so it's a little bit frustrating.
But work is in progress to change that. At a recent Transportation Committee meeting, city staff laid out the plans for an active transportation plan in North Dartmouth. It includes 2.2 kilometers of bike lanes that would connect the Wise Road bike lanes to the Burnside Greenway. It's an integral piece of the regional centre of all ages and abilities cycling network throughout the city. It would have protected bike lanes installed along Highfield Park Drive, Victoria Road and Farrell Street into Farrell Park.
I'm super excited. I think having direct, Dartmouth is in need of a lot of great bike infrastructure. It's exciting to see some of it already on Wise Road.
There's also a plan to better protect pedestrians, too. It includes a new signalized crossing at Victoria Road and Farrell Street and improves the existing crossing of Victoria Road at Highfield Park Drive. The committee voted to send the plan to council for approval. Staff suggest an implementation timeline of 2024. The cost estimate right now is $2.3 million. A study is underway at Dalhousie University that uses a breathing test to determine the extent of lung damage related to vaping. It's called the multiple breath washout test that's been used since the 1960s. Commercial devices now make it easier to implement this test, used in around 5 different places in Canada.
The multiple breath washout test is more focused on measuring those early defects or there's early lung damage, and it's very good at measuring how well our lungs exchange oxygen or exchange the air that we breathe. It's a really simple test to do. Normally it takes anywhere between 10 to 15 normal breaths, just like you're sitting there breathing right now, and that gives us a good indication of how efficiently the lungs are at exchanging oxygen or air.
The study will investigate whether the breathing test can identify early lung damage in people who vape, which involves inhaling fumes containing thousands of chemicals directly into the lungs.
So in this study, what we're looking to do is measure a group of individuals that are between 18 and 24 years of age who vape. We're looking at people who exclusively use podhalers, just so that we have a better idea of the quantity that's used. So we're asking people how many puffs they take, how many times they vape in a day, and we're trying to get at that exposure, the quantity of vaping that's consumed by the lungs.
There will also be a group of individuals tested who do not vape to draw comparisons. Results are expected by mid-2023 in hopes of providing some quantitative data for policymakers when it comes to vaping. A 17-year-old boy is facing multiple charges in relation to a shooting over the weekend in Cole Harbour. We first told you yesterday that the boy had been arrested after a shooting on Sedgemoor Court during a party where 20 to 30 people were gathered outside. 2 15-year-olds were shot, both with non-life-threatening injuries. Today, police say the shooting happened over an argument the three were having. The 17-year-old boy is now facing a slew of charges, including attempt to commit murder. The suspect is in custody and will appear in Halifax Provincial Court on Thursday, November 3rd at 9:30 a.m. The Wentworth Recreation Centre took a big blow during COVID, but they're now making up for it with the return of weekly events. They'll also be hosting the annual Christmas Craft Fair on November 12th. SaltWire's Brendan Creamer has the details.
The Wentworth Recreation Centre's struggle with the pandemic seems to be over. After having been shut down due to COVID, the rec center is finally gaining momentum once more. One of its biggest draws is its weekly pickleball games. A 4-player racket sport, the center adopted it 5 years ago. Since then, it has become a hit with the community, especially with seniors. The center has also been able to restart its weekly card games on Monday nights and community walks every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. The center is currently planning its next big event, their annual Christmas craft sale. The rec center invites people from Wentworth and beyond to come enjoy the over 40 tables worth of goodies they'll have available. This will be held on November 12th. The center plans to use a portion of its revenue to buy a generator. This is so volunteers can turn the center's basement area into a comfort shelter if need be. For more information on the Wentworth Recreation Center, visit their website. This is Brennan Creamer in Wentworth with the SaltWire Network.
It's time now for a glimpse of today's Thinking Out Loud with Sheldon McLeod. Today, Sheldon is speaking with Nicole Martel about collecting blankets to give seniors in long-term care homes.
Tell me about the reaction you got, and I'll talk about when you give the gifts, but from the people who come to you and drop them off, what do they tell you? What's motivating them? What do they say about this?
You know, I think that's my favorite part. I'm actually getting goosebumps talking about it right now. Last year, I had the province's Department of Seniors actually dropped off 30, 40, 50 blankets. I have members of the Muslim community. I have kids who are in Girl Guides or just groups of different people. And it's really heartwarming to see people from all walks of life, people who are also going through things themselves. You know, I've had seniors group last year who donated their time and their supplies and their blankets. And what always gets me is the seniors that are in nursing homes themselves who end up going to get a blanket or donating somehow because they don't want their friends to go without.
And for Sheldon's full conversation, head to the opinion section of saltwire.com. Time now for the Atlantic Sports Wire, presented by Scott Squires.
The Weeks Majors U18 Hockey Club is off to a great start this season in the Nova Scotia U18 Major Hockey League. Coach Kyle McLennan is with us. Coach, what do you attribute this great start to?
You know, I think, you know, without going too complex, I think, you know, it comes back to having good players and good players that are making plays. And I think when you have that type of depth, it's certainly, you know, I guess easy to be more consistent. You know, and on top of that, we really feel that, you know, with the skill and depth that we have, the main focus for us is establishing, you know, reinforcing and continuing to build on good habits, good principles throughout our game. You know, doing things that are going to help us win, you know, later on in the season. We have a long way to go in terms of our development as a team and, you know, as individuals, as all the teams in the league, I'm sure, can say the same. But for us, you know, definitely having, you know, talented players that are being able to make plays, and, you know, now those players all really starting to grasp the, you know, the habits and the details and the way we want to play that we feel that it's going to give us success later on in the season.
The week's next game on the road versus Dartmouth Steel Subaru this Saturday, 7:45 p.m. puck drop at the Sportsplex in Dartmouth. In Halifax, I'm Scott Squires for the Atlantic Sports Wire.
Thank you, Scott. On to weather now to see what's coming up in the forecast. We're going to check in now with our weather specialist, Alistair Alders.
Thanks, Kate. Well, it certainly wasn't as nice today compared to last night for trick-or-treating. Today we had rain, drizzle, and fog around, but I can tell you it's not going to take long at all for the sunshine to return. So tonight we will have clouds and fog patches and a chance of showers, and the temperature this evening will be near 14 degrees. We do begin to clear overnight and then waking up to sunshine on Wednesday morning, starting the day near 11 degrees. The sunshine continues into the afternoon with a high of 14. You will notice a brisk northwest wind gusting 20 to 40 kilometers per hour though. And this return of sunshine marks another stretch of very sunny weather that is expected to continue through the upcoming weekend. Temperature-wise, we cool down into Thursday a bit. It will still be breezy, and then we climb again into the weekend. We could even be seeing some temperatures in the high teens, maybe even a few low 20s. So certainly well above normal. Really, it was like that for all of October, and that trend continuing into the first part of November. Kate.
Thank you, Alistair. That's all for now. For more extended video and full online articles, stay tuned to saltwire.com. And you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at SaltWire Today. I'm your host, Kate Walker. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.